feel like if I go back, I'm nipping. Thank you for joining us today live. My name is Ashor, your guest, here with Steve Mushi, and thank you for joining us with After the Whistle. Today, our topic, our first segment will be our proud player. His name is George Malki, who plays for the MLS soccer team, and that is the Houston Dynamo. We're extremely proud of him. I'm very excited to have him via telephone. We're going to show a quick highlight of George Malki, and we're going to have him via telephone so all your viewers can hear what he's got to say about his career going forward. So let's show you a live, actually not a live footage, but a previous video feed from his college when he played at Cal Poly. And just to kind of show you what kind of a player he is, and we'll go from there.
Opportunity now. Little over 1 minute to go. Maybe a last opportunity for Cal Poly in the big rivalry. Ball over top, way out of the nets. Look at this, a collision. Ball's loose. Opportunity, it's in! They've tied it in the last minute. I don't believe it. 1 minute to go. Cal Poly responds. We are not done yet. We see this ball going in. Malki Pridham staying on the ball, but Malki following up, and almost a great recovery as well by Manchester. George Malki with his third goal of the season, and that is the touch you need.
And have George Malki come in through our telephone feed and discuss exactly what his ambitions were when he proceeded to go on and play soccer. We're going to wait for George. George, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
George, thank you so much for coming on to the show After the Whistle. I'm pretty sure you have a lot going on and taking some time off to come live with us. Thank you so much. You are joined with my guest, Steve Mushi, who is here with us. George, if you can just kind of tell us, growing up as a kid, I know you played for Gator, Arizona. You were one of the prime players over there, ESPN Rise All-American Stars. You know, you probably played a lot of sports out there. What made you kind of pursue soccer with so many sports that I hear that you were so good at? What made you kind of follow through soccer?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for having me on the show. It's an honor to be on it, and I'm very happy to do it. And what you guys are doing is excellent. But what inspired me really when I was younger, you know, my dad, my uncles, they all played soccer. Kind of ran through the blood, you know, the Assyrian blood. And ever since I grew up, my dad either had a soccer ball or a hockey stick in my hand. And, you know, just kind of progressing through life, I've always wanted to be a professional, whether it was in hockey or soccer. And growing up in Arizona, I was lucky enough to play both sports. But when I was 15 years old, I got a call from the under-17 national team for the United States. And they had asked me to come and join them in Florida for the year. So I had to quit hockey. But, you know, it made my decision easy because I knew that this was kind of a career path I wanted to choose, and it was a big step in my development. So I mean, I went there, and fortunately got a scholarship to play at Cal Poly. And I remember one thing that my dad and mom used to say to me all the time is, education is key. And luckily I was blessed enough to play soccer while I got my education, and I think that's what a lot of the younger generation, especially young Assyrians, should thrive to do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's upbringing obviously is one of the key things, and pursuing your dreams and having the family to back you up.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
very important. Like I said, we as a community here in Chicago, we're extremely proud of you. I am extremely proud of you. Like I mentioned, I went on and ordered your jersey, so I can't wait to get that.
Oh.
And also saying that orange is one of my favorite colors. So happen to be a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. It kind of resembled the Buccaneers orange back in the late 80s and 90s. So awesome. Hats off to you. Really proud of you. We showed the highlight of you when you scored that goal at Cal Poly. So, you got a tremendous talent. And moving forward, when you played at Cal Poly, it looks like you were 3 years there. So tell us in college, how difficult was it was it very difficult when you went on with your education and pursue play soccer there? Was it a grind for you to do the education and play soccer at the same time, be at the spotlight like that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's, life in general is a grind, and really when I got to Cal Poly, I was on my own. I had to be independent, and that consisted of obviously making sure I ate the right things, I put the right things in my body, I did my homework, I studied, and I was on the field every day, putting in the work 100%, to try to make my dreams into a reality. So definitely, it was definitely a grind. I remember I'd wake up at 6, 7 in the morning, go to training for a couple hours, come back, straight to school, to 3 or 4 classes. Then I would come back from there, go to study hall, do all my studying just to be ready for the next day in case I had a test. So, I would say the preparation and you need to be determined if you want to pursue this path. That's a key thing, but it's definitely doable if you put your mind to it.
Absolutely, I totally agree. It's not easy pursuing something that you want to. Now, when you were in college at Cal Poly, did you see yourself pursuing, trying to go further with soccer, or is this something that everything just fell into place?
Well, no, I mean, like I said, ever since I was young, I've always wanted to play professionally, whether it was soccer or hockey, and obviously soccer was what I was doing at Cal Poly. And I remember the first day I got there, I told the coach, I'm not here to party or to do the college thing. I'm here to get my education. I'm here to advance. I want to make that next step to the professional level. Mm-hmm. And I've always wanted to be a pro, and luckily I got the chance. And I'm here now in Houston, and thank God He's blessed me, blessed my family. I'm happy, I'm healthy, and just doing what I love to do every day.
That is wonderful. I know, again, everyone who's viewing us, we are live via telephone with George Malki, who plays for the Houston Dynamo, who signed last year. We are extremely excited. I know his team is coming to Chicago May 20th, and that is a Sunday at 3 p.m. Central. So we'll discuss that further, but we are live with George Malki, one of the premiers, one of our very own Assyrians who made it to the MLS. Extremely proud. Steve, have any words for George?
I mean, it is an honor to be on the phone with you, George. One of our fellow Assyrians. Driving for success. In his career.
Thank you.
I do have one question. It's every Assyrian's dream around the world to attend an Assyriesca game. Since they are our nation's team, you, George, have spent valuable time with them. Tell us about your experience with, training with Assyriesca.
Oh man, I remember I went there. I think it was my third year in college during the summer, me, my dad, David Alcouri and his dad we went there for a couple weeks. And as soon as I got there, everyone made me feel like I was at home, like how what Assyrians do. And as soon as I stepped on the field wearing the badge, and it just made me proud, because I'm very proud to be an Assyrian. And, I want to represent my nationality, the best way I can, kind of inform people that don't really know who we are, what we are. But I mean, I was only there to train, but when I went and they had a game, it was a home game, and you should have seen, it was probably 10,000 fans and the huge, massive Assyrian flag, just all of our people, and it was an unbelievable moment. I remember looking at my dad, and it was goosebumps, and I would have loved to stay there, but obviously I needed to come back and finish school. But it was probably one of the better experiences I've had in my life, honestly.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I mean, just the adrenaline going through your body, playing for your hometown and, in front of your own people. So how about this? Transitioning from Cal Poly to the professional level, how was the transition?
Yeah.
How was the game changer for you? How did the game change for you?
Yeah, I mean, collegiate to the professional level, everyone in the professional level is good, they all have good technique, they're all athletic. But the thing that really separates, the two, I think, is just desire, to want to be better and push yourself. Nothing in the professional level is given, you have to work for everything. There's, people with families now that are fighting to put food on the table for their family, So every day you have to be on it. You can't take a day off. And it's, sometimes it's tough, but the rewards are, they make you proud, and then they push you. So I think that's the biggest thing for me. The difference between college and pros is just every day you have to give it your 100%, and you have to be on. You can't have a day off, or else the coach is going to take you and next guy up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's you hit it on the head. It's pretty much, it's just 100% dedication at this point. I'm really proud to know, one of our fellow Syrians is, fulfilling his dream. Your dad, my dad are really good friends, growing up. And
yeah.
Knowing someone that, that really tight with my dad, that's in the pros and he's fulfilling his dreams is really big for us and the rest of the Syrians around the world. Keep pushing, keep driving, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a really good job at it.
Thank you so much.
George, kind of touching base with what Steve was talking about, the game changer. When you played at Cal Poly, I mean, it happens. Obviously, the talent changes throughout. When you move on into different stages of the game, from high school to college, how much did it change from college to going into? I don't want to say almost like the affiliate of the Houston Dynamos, but if you're talking about Rio Grande Valley Toros, they are the farm system of Houston Dynamos. How much of a difference was it when you're in college to that level?
I mean, there's still a big difference, honestly. I know a lot of people who play in college play. The next step is the USL if they're not going to go to the MLS, but it's a select few, because teams nowadays have academies, and these USL teams that they call them, the farm teams, they take their academy kids so that they can develop them through their system. But, I mean, the level is pretty close with the farm team, the USL team, compared to the major league team, And it's a funny thing, my national team coach for the under-17s, he became the head coach of Rio Grande Valley, the Toros, and he called me and wanted me to come out there, and so I did, and he converted me into a right back because I was always a midfielder or a right winger, but he converted me into a right back, and I was able to adapt and develop in that position, and that's, what got me here with Houston. My ability to get forward, fit, quick. I was able to make that transition from that farm team to the MLS team.
Yeah, was that Coach Wilmer Cabrera?
Yeah, and he's actually my coach now at Houston. He kind of took the same path. We kind of took the same path.
Which, it's phenomenal. Like, it's almost like, I want to say, it's nice to have when you have a coach who's coached you in the farm and kind of be the same coach for Houston, because you don't have to kind of change your game. He knows how you play.
Definitely.
Great.
Definitely.
I mean, I have nothing else. I mean, it's just an honor to be with,
I mean,
with
really,
one of our
we are
fellows here.
thrilled.
It's you rarely get that, in our in the community, and
No.
with you playing soccer and fulfilling your dreams, it's huge. I mean,
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
George,
it.
before we let you go, now, you signed last year with the Houston Dynamos. I know it was just a couple of weeks, or I don't know how long into it, unfortunately, with the incident that you went through with the injury.
Yeah.
What went through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it was like 2 or 3 weeks after I had signed, and I tore my ACL, and I was really down, honestly, and I didn't know why it happened, or I was questioning, and I didn't know like why it happened. To be honest, I was shocked, but I'm a strong believer in God, and so is my family. All of us are, and they kept telling me, have faith, everything's gonna work out, and I kind of I did that. My faith got stronger, and I know that everything happens for a reason, and God did this because He knows what's best for me. So it was definitely a hard time, but it was last March I rehabbed for about 8 months, and I'm back on the field now playing. So I'm just ready for whatever's next, and whenever I get my opportunity, I'll definitely take it.
Well, George, we'll be there to cheer you on. Again, to our viewers, we are talking with George Malki, plays for the MLS Houston Dynamos. The game in Chicago is May 20th, and that is at Toyota Park. They're playing against the Chicago Fire. So please do the best that you can. I know I'm going to be there.
If we can get out to the Chicago Bulls on April 3rd for
Absolutely.
the New Year's, we can get out and support our
We
fellow
are going to do our
on May
utmost
20th.
best
Thank you.
to get as much as we can out there with your jersey and with your Syrian flag and cheer you on.
Yes.
I mean,
Bring as many as possible.
We're going to make you feel like you're at a
Bring as many
serious
Syrian flags as possible.
absolutely. And you know what? You'll hear us, believe me. Aside from the chigga around the stands, you'll hear us. So we are so proud of you. God bless you. God will open more doors for you. Just keep the faith.
Thank you.
One thing I want to ask
definitely.
you, George, and I've been told this, but I'm not going to tell you by who. Your skills, who gave you those from your dad and your uncles? Who's the one
It's definitely not Sonny or Ninos, if that's what you're talking about.
I was put up to this, okay?
I'm just kidding.
From all of them, who's got the most talent?
I don't know. It's probably a mixture of all three. They each bring something to the table.
Well,
Supposedly Ninos was the finesse guy.
George's little brother's pretty good too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Danny's gonna be he's gonna be better than I am.
Danny's going to be really good.
Is that right? Wow.
He's got his Di Maria hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess you got a talented family there, I'm telling you. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to say Nino's put me up to ask you that question.
I knew it.
Did you say I knew it?
I knew it.
I know I'm going to get a call from your uncle.
I would have guessed Sonny for sure.
No, well, Sonny, I don't know. He's too busy. He hardly answers my calls. So, but George, God bless you again. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. I look forward to maybe having you on when you are in town.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And
thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Godspeed to you, and let's see you on that field as soon as you can, okay?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. God bless you guys, and thank you for everyone who supports me. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful night.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was George Malki of the MLS. That would be Houston Dynamos. That is a major sport in soccer, so you can actually see that on TV. It's one of our own, Steve. So proud to know that, and how humble he is.
I mean, I'm getting goosebumps. You're talking about it right now.
Honestly, me too.
I mean, it's we don't get that we don't get that kind of fame,
and how humble he is about it, which is
with the injury he's had, and he's kept his head up, and he keeps pushing, and he's right at the top again.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm proud. Like I said, May 20th, that would be Sunday at Toyota Park against the Chicago Fire. Get those tickets, get those jerseys, and let's go give them, all the support we can. We're going to take a quick timeout, give you a scoreboard update, and we'll be back soon with some NFL talk.
Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby, here we go. Look, I'm betting you like people, and I'm betting you love freak mode, and I'm betting you like girls to give love to girls and stroke your little ego. I bet you I'm guilty, your honor. That's just how we live in my genre. Who in the hell done paved the road wider? There's only one flow and one rider. I'm a damn shame, order more champagne, pull a damn hamstring, tryna put it on ya. Let your lips spin back around, come up. Slow it down, baby, take a look. Blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby, here we go. It's like everywhere I go, my whistle ready to blow. Shawty don't even know she can get in it for the low. Told me she not a pro, it's okay, it's under control. Show me soprano, cause girl you can handle. Baby with stars, so then you come up in park clothes. Girl I'm new, so when my Bugatti the same nose. Show me your perfect pitch, you got it, my banjo. Talented with your lips like you blew out a candle. So I'm using, know you can make it whistle with the music. Hope you ain't got no issues, you can do it. Even if it's no bitch, you never lose it. Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby, here we go. Go on, girl, you can twerk it. Let me see you whistle while you work it. I'ma lay back, don't stop it. Cause I love it how you drop it on me. Now, shawty, let that whistle blow.
Well, thank you so much for tuning back with us. We are going to go ahead and discuss some NFL talk. A lot going on in the NFL, especially with the trades that we had for the prior week. But the first thing I want to kind of discuss, which was kind of breaking news per se in the NFL, aside from the trade, was Odell Beckham Jr. The New York Giants are aware of the situation. This kind of broke through this week, where Odell Beckham Jr. is in Europe right now filming a Nike commercial, but there are videos spiraling around the internet where he is seen eating a pizza with some girl in his room. It looks like it's not a cigarette that he's smoking, okay? We know what that is. And then the footage shows with her with a credit card and some white powdered substance. Okay, again, the New York Giants are aware of this. The league's aware of this. And from what Odell Beckham Jr. is saying is, this is old news. I guess it still makes a good story. But as you can see, Odell, with these players, Steve, how much responsibility, where does it come, who holds it? These are kids, okay? They should have their agents, someone out there saying, especially in Europe, it's all hands off when you're there. You're seen, you're a role model, and you're seen doing these kind of acts. It tarnishes your name, okay? Now, does Nike, this hasn't even been discussed, does Nike drop Odell after a situation like this?
Nowadays it's just a trend. It's like these players can't keep themselves out of trouble. You're one of the best players in the NFL. You're out here doing a shoot, and you're out here partying. Yeah, we understand you're going to party, but, you got to understand you're under contract. You have, God knows how big that contract with Nike is.
A star player, exactly.
Will he lose his contract? Who knows? He can always go on to Adidas or wherever he wants to go, but, it's got to stop. Like, you guys are role models to these kids.
Absolutely.
I know a bunch of people that are big fans of him, that are, young.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. You got kids, who look up to you. You got people who buy your jersey, and then you show this. Did you not know it was going to go viral? Honestly, you're looking at the camera at one point, so you know where this is going. But, to make a mockery, a joke out of this and saying, what's old news makes good news. You blow the whistle on that and saying, shape up. Okay, you're not a kid anymore. You're in the NFL. If I was in your shoes, if anybody was in your shoes, I would be walking the straightest line on God's green earth. But, you're putting yourself in a situation where people frown upon it and then look at you as like, is this guy, a public figure that you're going to look at and say, what's he doing? You're making all that money. What are you doing?
Especially a guy who just came off an injury and needs
Absolutely.
to keep himself, healthy and in the training room, for the upcoming season. You're out here partying and doing all these bad things. It's not the right thing to do at this point.
That's not. I don't know if we showed the footage yet. Let's go ahead and roll the footage. Just so the viewers to see what kind of acts he was in.
Trying to get you to sleep with.
All right, so.
Trying to get you to sleep with.
All right, so we saw some footage on that. It's sad. It seems like it happens so much now in all sports. If it's Odell, if it's Hernandez with this, when does it stop? Hernandez with the Patriots, with the guns. It's becoming a league where, you got to control it. Even as Roger Goodell, where do you draw a fine line? When do you stop them? When do you punish these players? You tell me they got rights of they don't have to stand for the anthem, but you're showing you're a multi-billion-dollar league. When do you stop and penalize these people? That's the one thing you got to start asking yourself.
It's pretty much these guys do it before they did it. They did this lifestyle before they entered the NFL. Before they played in the collegiate level. It's not going to change. If it didn't change before, it's not going to change now, and with money involved, it's definitely not going to change.
It's pretty sad, especially with that much money that you're making. So let's go on with the trade talks. A lot occurred throughout the week, and it seems like they're occurring right now still as we talk. But, one of the main players that we're kind of discussing was Richard Sherman with the Seattle Seahawks, the face of Seattle, okay? He got injured last year. Some people saw this coming, and he said it was emotional because he already knew. He said he had said his goodbyes to Seattle. And I'm telling you, it didn't take that long, Steve, for some team to pick him up. And San Francisco's nabbed him real quick on a 3-year deal. I'm not sure, we didn't disclose the actual contract, but I know it was a 3-year deal. He's going to San Francisco. He's going from Seattle, not that far into San Francisco. A team that's actually coming up. They went and traded for Jimmy Garoppolo. They got a great team that was coming around the corner towards the end of last year. John Lynch is the general manager. Looks like he's pressing the right buttons. Got Sherman on that defense, and I still think there's a lot more coming too with this team. So what was your thought process on when Sherman signed with the? Honestly, I did think he was going to go to the New England Patriots because Sherman and Belichick respected each other. But what's your thoughts on him going to San Francisco?
Best corner in the league.
Yeah.
Hands down. In my opinion, best corner in the league. He's proved it. He's number one in every category, I want to say, since 2011. I mean, he's got interception. They don't throw the ball towards him. And what better team to pick than the 49ers to stay in the division of your old team?
Absolutely. And I was going to say
he's going to see Russell Wilson twice.
Yep.
I see 49ers pushing the playoffs 100% this year.
Mm-hmm.
And with Garoppolo there at quarterback, him on the defensive end, they got a young linebacker in Reuben Foster. I mean, it was a steal. I mean, I don't know how Seattle let him go, but at the end of the day, it's a good fit for Richard Sherman.
Absolutely. In Seattle, you got to wonder if that window's closed. You had a 10-year span of a team that was just dominant on defense. You got Bennett, who left. Sherman's gone. I mean, and who was it? Chancellor. Who's to say he's not coming back? His career might be over.
They're no longer
His
called
career
the
might
Legion
be
of
over.
Boom.
They're not.
No longer
it's a Legion of Bust at this point. But you know
Yeah.
what? You got to rebuild eventually. So who knows what's going to happen in that division with Seattle, treading under, and then it might be San Francisco who might be taking that division from there. We'll see. The next one we're going to discuss is the Cleveland Browns, who I think are more like the free agency, or it's not even free agency, the trade. They're going after it all this year. Now, I feel like they kind of push towards the drafts. They're always a draft boom, but they don't make anything in this regular season. But this year, I mean, they are wheeling and dealing and getting some players like, wow. I never expected that the Browns would pursue something in this aspect. Now, we got the Browns who dealt. Deshaun Kaiser, who they drafted, was it last year? Last year. Not even more than a year, he's already dealt to the Green Bay Packers, okay, who then sent Demarius Randall, who's actually a really good cornerback.
He's old.
To Cleveland. He is, but I still, with the right system, yes, I think maybe you could say the Packers kind of won this one on the trade. But again, Deshaun Kaiser is not proven. You're going to a Green Bay Packers team we don't know with Aaron Rodgers how much longer he's going to stay there. Now, is it the right system he's going under? Aaron Rodgers is going to be a great teacher. So Deshaun Kaiser might be someone who's going to benefit from this. So we'll see what happens with this situation with the Browns. Deshaun Kaiser shocked, dealing after 1 year. The next trade we got, again, is the Browns getting Tyrod Taylor.
That was, I think,
okay.
That was the dumbest trade they could have pulled off. I mean, Tyrod Taylor didn't do much in Buffalo, and I don't think he's definitely not going to do much in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have. If I'm the Cleveland Browns and I got a chance to draft a player, I'm drafting Saquon Barkley.
And they have a legitimate shot in the draft because they finished. What are they drafting at?
I mean, they had the first and the fourth pick.
I believe, yeah. So why didn't you take that and utilize your quarterback in the draft? Now, did they say they maybe failed last year and they don't want to pursue that? But why? I mean, you're going from Deshaun Kaiser to Tyrod Taylor, like you said. Tyrod Taylor's not proven in Buffalo. He had a phenomenal defense. That's all they had.
I mean, you went and got Jarvis Landry, and Buffalo had Sammy Watkins.
Exactly.
And Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback. I mean, Landry is, Landry. I mean, he hasn't proven to me he's the greatest receiver in the NFL, but you still need a quarterback to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And right now, at this time, it's time for you to draft a quarterback. I mean, you got Rosen from UCLA out there. I would have took a chance on him. With your 1 and 4, I would push for Barkley, or running back from Penn State, with the number 1 pick, and then go after Rosen, and then build your team from there.
That you could do, but also I feel like Buffalo's primed. Their defense is great. They're ready to win. They should make the playoffs. But you're going from Deshaun Kaiser to why didn't you just pursue someone in the free agency? You have some good quarterbacks that are coming out, like Case Keenum.
I mean, I'm not on Buffalo's backup quarterback, Peterman.
Exactly.
Why would Buffalo do that?
Exactly.
I mean,
and from the Browns,
Taylor stepped in. Granted they had a good defense. Taylor stepped in, took them to the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, they lost, but you got to give the guy time to work with the team.
Absolutely. So that was a head scratcher for Cleveland with the Buffalo trade. And Buffalo's sitting there looking for a quarterback now, which, why would they do that? Why don't you not pursue it in free agency? Like I said, you have Case Keenum, you have Bridgewater. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks out there that you could have pursued, but it looks like they're going to go through with a draft. We just had spoken about Javarius Landry. I believe that was a pretty good move for them going to Cleveland because they really don't. And you have Javarius Landry who's going to side right next to with Josh Gordon. So you got a good tandem right there. But you don't have a quarterback
or running back
who's going to run it or throw it to him. So unless they have something else up their sleeves. So let's look at some footages on Javarius Landry, just kind of see what kind of receiver they are getting in Cleveland.
More complete. Landry hurdles a man down to the 32-yard line. Drake in motion. The fake toss to him. Now Landry lunging. Touchdown Miami. Cutler to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown Miami. Jarvis Landry.
Getting a touchdown. Cutler throwing it this side. Wide open. Jarvis Landry for the touchdown.
Jarvis Landry working out of the slot. Cutler rolling to his right, and there is Landry. Touchdown Miami.
Out to the right would be so dangerous.
Throws, it's caught at the 4 and taken in by Jarvis Landry for the touchdown.
So we saw some footages on Landry. I think he'll do good in Cleveland, and I know there was some discussion with the Bears probably pursuing him. I'm kind of glad they didn't in trades with Jordan Howard, so the Bears are probably primed, maybe even to get the receiver out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm losing the name on him, so there's some pursuing on that with
Allen Robinson.
There's some pursuing on that, so we'll see what happens. Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed Mike Evans to an $82.5 million contract, 55 guaranteed. They needed to lock up Mike Evans. He's a great receiver. They stumbled last year just with, maybe I believe it was a Winston situation more than Mike Evans. Mike Evans had the routes dead on. He just didn't get the ball. I kind of blame Jameis Winston last year, the whole season on Jameis Winston because his accuracy wasn't there. He overthrew his receivers. He missed some of the receivers. But Mike Evans is a great talent. We've seen him when he came out in his rookie year. You needed to sign this guy. He's actually his contract overshadowed Megatron when he had signed with the Detroit Lions when he was playing. But this is something they needed to lock up. What's your take on Mike Evans? I know you're not keyed on him as much.
I mean, I like Evans, but he killed me in fantasy last year. I drafted him with my first pick. But that's another team that needs a quarterback. I'm not big on Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston shouldn't have came to the NFL. I think he should have pursued baseball. I don't know if you knew, he was a two-sport athlete. Jameis Winston with the hot head he has, and I think he's just not cut for football. I mean, he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Okay. If you're going to lock down a receiver like this, you need to get him a decent quarterback. Like you said, go out there and you got Casey Keenum, you have Kirk Cousins, and you got guys that are better than Jameis Winston. So my take on that is, if you're going to lock down a receiver, make sure you have a game plan to have a quarterback for him. My cut, I don't think Jameis Winston's ready. I mean, what do you say? You're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
I'm a huge Tampa Bay fan. You know what? With him, I think sometimes the way I see him is he is trying too much on the field when he should just sit back and play the game. He's trying to impress his coaches. He's trying to impress his players. He can talk the talk, but he's not playing it on the field. I think he needs to just take a step back and play like he did his rookie year and just let the game flow itself. He's got great talent. He's got a great arm. But I feel like last year he was trying to prove so much where it just caved in on him.
Well, you got to think about it like this, Ash, is Evans is the only player on that team. If I'm a defensive coordinator, that was his first year with them. But if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm double teaming him at all times.
Which he was.
They didn't have a decent run game. They don't have a decent quarterback.
Yep.
And it's pretty much all him. He can't do it all by himself.
Yeah, so they gave Dirk Cutter, their coach, one more year to kind of change things around. I do believe they make playoffs this year, pending any good moves, which I want to say we just found out this Wednesday, the Miami Dolphins are cutting Dynamo and Sue. So here's a player, okay, aside from his on-field tactics, when he punches players, he kicks players, he is a great defensive player, put in the right system. But do the Bucs pursue that? Because when you have Daryl McCoy on that line and Dynamo Sue on that next to each other,
who's going to run on you?
Exactly. Well, I mean, look the devastation they might cause on all the other offensive lines. But do you want that kind of a player in the locker room that might disrupt the locker room?
Yes.
That's the problem a lot of teams are going to look at and say, do we want this kind of player? I'd love to have him on Tampa Bay.
I'd love to have him on the Chicago Bears.
Exactly. So that's going to be something to look forward to. Who knows what might happen? That's going to be interesting. The Cincinnati Bengals declined to pick Adam Pac-Man-Jones option. He's old.
I mean, did he not get his citizen package?
I totally agree. He's old. I think at this point you got to hang it up. You know, I mean, what else do you have left? He has a hot head. He's a huge. You know, he's got a temper on the field. And the Bengals itself as a team, I don't know what direction they're going to. You know, that'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. But you know, they're almost like one of those, like they're paper champs, but they're on the field, they're just chumps. They're not cutting it. Pittsburgh's always dominating that game.
I don't understand how Marvin Lewis still has a job.
That's one thing I'm for sure guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Oh,
I mean,
Edmund.
I mean, as they say, he was a Nuda under fire with that situation. He was fired for sure. And I thought Marvin Lewis was walking away from this situation too itself. But they gave him another year. I don't know. Maybe no one other coach wanted to come to Cincinnati. That's the only thing I can assume. So that is a hot mess coming on to next season.
So you didn't answer my question. Is it an Edmund guarantee or is it an Ashor guarantee?
That he was going to be fired?
That he's going to be fired after the season if he doesn't have a win season.
Well, Edmund guarantees usually he comes back. So I think it's an Edmund guarantee. Because whatever Edmund says, just do the opposite.
Oh,
that's what I'm told. So that's why he came back.
I agree.
So, Edmund, I know you're watching. So that one's for you. So the Eagles and the Carolina Panthers kind of swapped Torrey Smith, okay, for Daryl Worley. Torrey Smith, another player that, you know, I'm looking at, he's not your game breaker. He's a veteran. He'll get you the touchdown that you need, but he's a game manager. It's one of those trades, you know, I don't want to say it was a game breaker trade, a big trade. It's just something that happened, so we kind of wanted to share that with you.
I mean, they're just fixing up their defense a little, you know, getting it stronger. They proved it in the playoffs last year.
They did.
You know, their quarterback went down, backup came in, did his job, did what he needed to do. I mean, they have young receivers. They got Aguilar there. They got Jeffrey there. They got Ertz as their tight end. I mean, they can develop a young receiver, you know, that barely got any playing time. You know, Torrey Smith's not young.
No, he's not.
He's old. I mean,
he was in Baltimore, so he's been around.
I mean, Carolina let go of Calvin Benjamin, which was shocking, in my opinion, to revolve around Olsen and Funchess and McCaffrey and all that. So we'll see. It's gonna be cool to see Torrey Smith there. He's, like you said, he's gonna get you your third down, you know, your first downs on third down. You know, he's gonna get you a touchdown here and there. But is he gonna be that primetime receiver for you? I don't think so. I mean, he wasn't that primetime receiver with the Eagles, but he did what he needed to do when the time
when
was
he
needed.
needed it. Absolutely. Well, another player that might follow Adam Pac-Man-Jones in the Social Security line will be Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. The Giants let him go too, so he might still have some game left in him.
I saw him at the Social Security office in Evanston.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, this is something. Was Pac-Man with him, or was he just?
No, I didn't see. I only saw him.
So
last week I saw Terrence Newman too from the Vikings.
Oh, yes.
I think it's like they think they get a deal if they do 3 at a time. I think that's what it is.
Probably. So let's take another quick timeout. We'll come back and talk MLB. Jake Arrieta. That's the person we were wondering what's going to happen to him. We'll follow after the scoreboard update. We'll follow through with that.
Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby. Here we go. Look, I'm betting you like people, and I'm betting you love freak mode, and I'm betting you like girls to give love to girls and stroke your little ego. I bet you I'm guilty, your honor. That's just how we live in my genre. Who in the hell done paved the road wider? There's only one blow and one rider. I'm a damn shame, order more champagne, pull a damn hamstring, tryna put it on ya. Let your lips spin back around, come up. Slow it down, baby, take a look. Blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby. Here we go. Whistle, baby, whistle, baby. Whistle, baby, whistle, baby. Whistle, baby, whistle, baby. Whistle, baby, whistle, baby. It's like everywhere I go, my whistle ready to blow. Shawty don't even know she can get in it for the low. Told me she not a pro, it's okay, it's under control. Show me soprano, cause girl you can handle. Baby we start so then you come up in park clothes. Girl I'm new, so my Bugatti the same nose. Show me a perfect pitch, you got it my banjo. Talented with your lips like you blew out a candle. So I'm using, know you can make it whistle with the music. Hope you ain't got no issues, you can do it. Even if it's no bitch, you never lose it. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close.
Well, thank you for coming back. So we're going to go ahead and discuss the MLB now. Jake Arrieta,
I don't want to talk about this.
we're all discussing what was going to
I don't
happen.
wanna
Was he going to
talk
come
about
back with the
sexy
Chicago
Jake.
Cubs for one more year?
He
We were
hurt
all
me.
hoping that.
You hurt me.
I mean, believe me, I was hurt.
I have a Fear the Beard shirt at home
Okay,
of Sexy Jake,
okay.
and he left us for the Philadelphia Phillies.
It's unfortunate. Honestly, it's unfortunate because, look, the Chicago Cubs offered him $17.5 million for 1 year. He opted out of there because Scott Boras, his agent, said, I can get you $200 million guaranteed. Okay, $200 million.
Edmund guaranteed.
Edmund guarantee. That from that guarantee, I believe Scott Boras maybe is related to Edmund in a way.
I mean, 3 years, $75 million, $200 million.
Okay, well, from 200 went down to 100 million because when they realized, okay, let's start a bidding war. Look, St. Louis needed a pitcher, okay? Milwaukee needed a pitcher. They were both at the tail. Actually, Milwaukee probably even more. The Milwaukee Brewers almost caught on to the Cubs. They are primed to win that division if they had the right pitcher. But the Cubs retooled. They got Yu Darvish. Jake Arrieta, if he was smart, I'm not saying he's stupid, but in my opinion, he should have signed it 1 year, won another championship, then pursued the $200 million or that $100 million.
I totally agree with you because if you sign and get to that rotation, that is going to be the most deadliest rotation in Major League Baseball. And you win the World Series, now it's a bigger payday for you.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a Cy Young, a 2014 Cy Young winner, if I'm not mistaken, 2015. I believe it was 2015. He's got phenomenal stats, mostly the year they won the World Series with the Cubs. Now you're going 3 years, $75 million with the Phillies. What do you? Okay, where do you want to win this World Series with the Phillies? They were third worst team in the major leagues last year, 66 and was it 96? Their record. Okay,
Terrible.
66 and 9. One of the worst teams. What rotation do they have in Philadelphia?
I can't name you one.
Honestly,
I cannot name you a player from the Phillies. They've rebuilt that whole team.
I don't know what they're going to do because they're dead last in that division. I'm looking at them in the Cactus League, or not the Cactus League, the Grapefruit League, whatever they call it in Arizona. They're like 8-6 or 6-8, something like that. They're not. They are, from what I believe in, the owner, I think wanted a big name to draw the crowd in because in his mind, I think they're saying if I can bring the crowd in, bring in an ace pitcher.
It's not a big enough name.
It's not because you're going to tax that pitcher. He's going to get hurt. Okay, they're going to work him through 9 innings consistently because they have no other player. Unless they have a great bullpen. I don't even know about their bullpen either. What was he thinking? If I was
66 and 96. What bullpen?
Exactly.
I can go throw in that bullpen if I wanted. Let's be real here.
I'm with you on
Jake,
that.
I think you did a bad decision.
Horrible. Why didn't you go to Milwaukee? If you wanted to prove something with the Cubs, go in your own division, play for Milwaukee.
Why you go Milwaukee against us?
I'm just saying, for him to prove something. Believe me.
I would have went to the Nationals if I was him.
Well, yeah, but then, you got Bryce Harper coming to Chicago next year. Because that would have been guaranteed Chicago was getting Bryce Harper. Now we don't know.
Guarantee word is getting too...
Well, my guarantee is fulfilled.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I'm not someone here named... we all know who. But anyway, Jake Arrieta disappointed. But let's look at some highlights with Jake. We'll keep it short with this one. He's a phenomenal pitcher. I'm sad. Okay? Steve has said, we both love Jake. You should have stayed with the Cubs for one more year. It would have probably been guaranteed one more World
sure
Series.
They were going to get him.
One more. So let's roll some footage, some highlights, and we'll come back and discuss some NBA.
He is becoming must-see TV. Don't miss a Jake Arrieta start, folks.
Early in your career is Arrieta.
Oh, there you go.
Punch one to deep left. Gone! His first career home run.
Of the way that things have been, oh, ooh, the way that things have been, oh, ooh. Second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the center.
And he strikes. He strikes out the side in the 9th inning. And Jake Arrieta has thrown his first career no-hitter.
Young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that
A curveball got Utley swinging, and Arrieta being mauled by his teammates.
listen from the brain, seeing the beauty.
Just hugging the guys, seeing how excited they were for what I was able to do. Special.
Arrieta's hit it out. Well hit to short. Russell to second for one, to first. Double play.
Let the bullets fly, or let them rain. My life, my love, my time became from. You burn me up, believer.
First time in 12 years, the Chicago Cubs have a postseason victory.
Arrieta came away with the award. He collected 17 first-place votes. Arrieta's second half ERA of .75 was the lowest in baseball history.
3-2. High fly ball out into deep left center. Way back. Gone!
I was choking in the crowd, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown.
In the air, this should do it.
So, we saw the highlights. He was, I really am going to miss him a lot. Steve is going to miss him. We're all going to miss him. It's sad. He was a great pitcher.
I hope he demands a trade.
Mid-season.
Mid-season comes to the Cubs rotation.
Yeah, who knows? I'll be honest with you, who knows? 3-year contract. I didn't even know those 3 years what's guaranteed from them. He might opt out after the 1 year. Who knows? Let's go to the NBA, Steve. There is one hot player in college.
I've been saying this since day one.
One hot player in college. Actually, you brought this attention to myself. This guy reminds me, like you mentioned, Kareem Abdul, but also Patrick Ewing's fadeaway. Phenomenal.
He's got an inside-outside game.
Oh, my God, people.
He's amazing. He's a 7-foot monster.
This guy is going to be the prize of the draft. If you need to trade up to get this player, go get him. Steve, please mention his name.
DeAndre Ayton.
Okay.
This is the same gentleman that had the allegations with the
coach in Arizona.
Offered him $100,000. I'd offer him $500,000 to come play on my team. If you guys haven't seen this man play, go watch him play.
The size, the skill, he has it all. I'm telling you, check out his highlights. Check out what the people are saying with this player.
He reminds me of Hakeem Olajuwon.
He does.
His inside-outside game. Yesterday he had 38 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 blocks.
And he's from Canada?
And he's from Canada.
Wow. Wow. So let's take some highlights. Look at some highlights on Ayton, and we'll come back and close out the show.
The big fella, Ayton. DeAndre had 19 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks in the opener on Friday night in 30 minutes of play. Woo! Oh, baby connection. And it's hammered home by DeAndre Ayton.
Good Lord. Are you kidding me?
Along the baseline. Wow! Ayton with the follow. Hammered by Ayton. DeAndre puts it back.
On his own this year. And I think this guy right here, DeAndre Ayton, is the key to the zone breaker. He's so comfortable grabbing the ball at the top on the elbow.
All afternoon long, that has just been not questioned. He's 7 of 10 now from the floor, 15 points. That's 4 he's made from there.
And that's the spot, that right elbow.
So we just saw some highlights on this player. For the Bulls, Steve, what do you think they should do?
I mean, I give up everybody to get this guy. Honestly,
you build a team around this guy.
So if I'm right now the Bulls, we've already given up on Derrick Rose, which I'm a big believer on Rose. I love Jimmy Butler. We gave up on him as well. You went after young players. You drafted Markkanen. Everybody made fun of you. Markkanen turned out to be a good player. Can you imagine Markkanen and Ayton down low for the Bulls?
Wow.
I mean, before Ayton's name, Ayton's name was out there, but it was more so Marvin Bagley.
Absolutely.
Michael Porter Jr. Those were the guys that their names were popping up. Now it's DeAndre Ayton. Whoever gets that number 1 pick, I would do anything to push it up. I hope the Bulls get the number 1 pick. That is going to be huge for them with the young player, with Levine. You got Chris Dunn, Markkanen, then you'll have him. Then you can ship out Brook Lopez or throw him on the bench, at that point.
So just let our viewers know who may not know basketball much. Now it's a lottery it's almost like a lottery with those balls. So the worst
team in the NBA gets some more percentage of the balls.
So it's like the NHL.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then it goes from there. I mean, think about it, guys. Us Chicago fans, we had a under 1% chance when we got Derrick Rose. So anybody can get it.
Absolutely.
But the team that's the worst, the Bulls need to start losing at this point. But the NBA has caught on to that, and they told the Bulls last week, put your starters in, let them play. It's not right that they're losing these games. They can win games.
They'll find a way.
My opinion on that is, as an NBA, you shouldn't be able to tell a coach what they should do or not. The organization hires them. The organization pays for them. If they want to lose all their games, they're doing it for a reason. It's a strategy.
It is a strategy.
Let them do it.
Look, the NBA needs to fix overall the way it's run, because, look, we've seen it where these players are forming almost like an all-star team, hopping teams, to win a championship. In my opinion, the best thing the NBA needs to do right now is to put a cap on teams, You need teams like the Milwaukee Bucks. You need teams that are not a big prime market to make it fair for them too. The NFL does the right thing by doing a cap. The NHL does the right thing because it's equal for every team then to have a chance at making the playoffs. You need to stop this luxury tax, because then all of a sudden you got teams like Miami. You got teams like Cleveland. You got teams like Golden State. They're hopping from team to team to win a championship. It's not fair for the other teams.
If you can't beat them, join them.
That's what the league should be called now. Literally, that's what the league should be called. So we're going to have, with that said, we are going to close off the show. I'd like to thank my producers very much. George Malki, again, thank you so much for joining the show, taking some time off your busy schedule. I'd like to thank my guest, Steve Mushi. Please tune in to us next Monday at 8 p.m. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come